welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in today. Another day, another dessert recipe to share. Last year I made cassava candy, and as you know, growing up in a country that cassava is so easy to find and it's everywhere, you had to make use of cassava. So there's so many ways you can make cassava dessert, and today's recipe, it's gonna be cassava cake. Very easy, very simple to make, but it's always best to use fresh cassava instead of the frozen one. It's hard to find a good fresh one, so I have the frozen one that's already minced actually. So I'm using the minced cassava for this recipe. So if you have the fresh one, that's even better. Just shred it up, and it's just the same as the minced one. In my opinion, if you shred it up yourself from the fresh cassava, it's actually better than the frozen minced cassava. But in this recipe, this is all I use. Close to 1 pound of minced cassava, 1 cup of condensed milk, 1 cup of coconut milk, 1 cup of shredded coconut, 1 egg, and also a pinch of salt. And that's all I use in this recipe. The best way to make cassava cake is to bake it. It's just nice and caramelized on the top. In my opinion, it just tastes better to bake the cassava cake. But today's recipe, I don't have my oven available, so I'm gonna steam it. Now, for steaming, it's gonna take a little bit longer. In this specific recipe, I use about 1.5 hours to steam my cassava cake. But if I were to use the oven, it should only take 50 minutes to make. Okay, first just mix the cassava with the eggs. Mix them well. And then I add shredded coconut, condensed milk, coconut milk, and also a pinch of salt. Mix them all together once again. Put them in a flat plate and then steam for 1.5 hours. Now, one mistake that I made in this cassava cake is that I'm supposed to be taking out the juice, and I don't know how I forgot to do that, because growing up, like when you shred the cassava, of course there's some juice coming out, and you don't really need all those juice. You kind of take it out, throw it away. But I forgot about it in this recipe. It's all minced. I thought it's all good. I'll put it in, but it's so watery. So my recipe here is a little bit softer and more watery than it's supposed to be. So if you were to make it your own, make sure you take out the juice, the water. All right, so this is how it looks like 1.5 hours later. Okay, as you can see, it's a little bit mushy, but I will taste it out and let you know how it really tastes like. All right, let's go. Flavor is there, sweet, but the texture though, the texture of the cassava, I used the minced cassava in this recipe, and that's not what I usually use. If I could do it all over again, I would use fresh cassava, shred it up, and take out all the water. Make sure the water is out too, because it is a little bit mushy due to the extra water. Flavor wise, I think 1 cup of the condensed milk and 1 cup of coconut milk is perfect. I just wish that I didn't use the frozen minced cassava. It's a new recipe that I just try out. I just want to see if it works with the frozen minced cassava. But again, my recommendation is to always use fresh ingredients for better results. Okay, that's it. That's all I have to share with you today. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Try it out and let me know what you think. Maybe not with the frozen cassava, but try it out with the fresh shredded cassava and let me know in the comment box below what you think. Alright, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.